place. Yeah, the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know, we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. Yes, this world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Go ahead, take a moment, say hello to everyone. Get a high five, get a hug. Get your love. Yeah, take a good look around. And if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide, kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. Yeah, the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Yeah. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Yeah. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. All right, thank you. Please join us for our congregational song, Spirit is in this place. We have come together as family. We have come here as we are. And we have come with arms wide open. Yeah, we have gathered here in love. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise a room with shouts of praise. Spirit is in this place. And we sing in celebration. Yeah, we sing words of prayer. Namaste, amen. And we affirm our life as sacred. Yeah, we declare that peace is here, right now. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise a roof with shouts of praise. Spirit is in this.
name is Reverend Juanita Gardner, and I'm privileged and honored to serve as practitioner here at Pacific Coast Center for Spiritual Living. At the candle, I invite Mary Birch to bring the candle forward. This light represents the light we are as a community. Just as a lit candle is not diminished in any way when it shares its light with an unlit candle, we're able to freely share our light as we meet together. Let us join together in saying the affirmation. We rise together as love in commitment to one another and ourselves. We rise together with intention to learn and to each other. We rise together. Get my place here. Mother, Father, God, Holy Spirit within me, all around and about me, come forth as expression as me, and cause me to see only good, only God. And I accept and realize that God is all there is, that there is nothing but God in this place, in this space, in, through, and as each of us. And because this is so, I know that this time together unfolds in divine, perfect right order, lacking nothing. And all that needs to be said and done is said and done in clarity and in peace and harmony and grace. And so it is. Sit down.
Good morning. Welcome on a day that we're expecting big rain, and maybe many of us are on YouTube this morning. And thank you for joining us, all of those on YouTube. And thank you for joining us here. If you're new, welcome, welcome. If you're returning, we just love you. Thank you so much. We are here collectively revealing that love is the nature of who we already are. We're already there. We've already arrived. And I would like to share a quote of courage and responsibility in honor of Black History Month from Rosa Parks. To bring about change, you must not be afraid to take the first step. We will fail when we fail to try. Very courageous woman. Our speaker today, Reverend Bobbi, Senior Minister. And she will be teaching us about radical responsibility. Wow, that's a big one. I'm Lorraine Urbina, host on a team of volunteer hosts. Music, Melissa Lewis. You're not alone today. You have your buddies. Nice. Jim on drums, percussions. Des today on saxophone, but she could be here on 100 other things. She's incredible, yes. Streaming and sound keep us going. Matt and John, thank you so much. Reverend Juanita, thank you so much for that beautiful prayer. Platform practitioner, service support, Mary Burt. She did a beautiful prayer to get us started this morning. Pre-service meditation, Valerie Day. Very quiet back there, but so powerful. Leadership, Pam and Reverend Bobbi on the slides, and don't they do a gorgeous job on these slides? Beautiful. Leadership, Janice Guerva, with her beautiful granddaughter and her husband today. We have the welcome team, and we love our welcome team, and if you're attracted to joining us, please do. We would love to have you. Youth and family, Wenda Arcarla, production coordinator, Carol Ann Perini, and ASL, Eileen Davis. And now, if you are ready, Ms. Janice, our announcements.
Okay. I invite you to say with me our collaboration vision statement. Through mindful and respectful exploration, we are creating a healthier foundation that supports and engages a whole beloved community equipped to launch new strategies for a thriving spiritual center. That's right. All right, it's time for some announcements. The Circle is delighted to welcome Dr. Jay Houston, who will be presenting a powerful workshop where we will explore the connection between faith, food, and finances. If you are tired of yo-yo dieting, if you want to get your money in check, if you want to apply faith to the areas of food and financing, this workshop is for you. Discover your hidden wealth and heal your emotional eating wounds. We will create a sacred space for clarity, healing, self-discovery, and self-transformation related to your limiting beliefs, triggers, and sticking points around weight loss and finances. Join us on Saturday, February 10th at 1 p.m. here. We will explore emotional eating issues, body shaming, people-pleasing, and why diets aren't sustainable. Key issues related to your emotional eating and wealth consciousness, and you may register on Breeze or Eventbrite. And I was reminded right before church that today is the final day to get early bird pricing. Okay, so I know we've just gone through a whole list of thank yous, but I'd like to add the kitchen angels that are always here. And Eileen C. Davis, I don't know if she's here this morning, but our lovely American Sign Language when she comes on Sundays. So thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's good to see your faces. My name is Reverend Bobbi. I'm the senior minister here at Pacific Coast Center for Spiritual Living. I'm just announcing some of the spiritual elements today because we've got some stuff coming. I love that sound. Did I do that? I'm sure I did. I thought something else was going on, so I wanted to make sure you heard it too. What we've got coming first Wednesdays is Living the Four Agreements. How many of you have read the book, The Four Agreements? So if you want to really talk about how this can play out in your own life and how you can practice it, join Rev Veronica the first Wednesdays, which is this Wednesday from 7 to 8:30. You can get it on the website, the newsletter. You can register for it, so you can get the link. It's on Zoom. If you have any questions about it, just talk to one of the practitioners here or myself. This is amazing, this event right here. On February 24th, Tenzin Shiogi and Casey Howe will be teaching Big Love, the Four Immeasurables. Tenzin is an ordained minister by the Dalai Lama in the Buddhist tradition. And she is coming here to Pacific Coast Center for Spiritual Living and one other place. She recently came out of a 6-year silent retreat. I have trouble with 6 minutes. How about you? Right? 6 seconds? Yeah. Well, it gets worse, right? Right. But Casey came here and taught mindfulness, and for those of you that didn't get to take it, we're going to be having him come back and teach it again, because honestly, we practice mindfulness, but the Buddhists have it down. That's what they do. And so she's going to be coming for that day, and there's going to be some Buddhist communities joining us throughout this area, so make sure you get your tickets for this. Make sure you register. It's going to be I'm so excited about this, that we were chosen to be one of the places that she's going to. So don't miss out on this. This is the last Tuesday you can join the class that I started teaching this last Tuesday. Rev Veronica joins me in teaching it this week. It's a 4-week class. You can join us this week. For those of you that came this last week, I apologize. I say that because what'd you learn? Right? Lots about what this is all about. My apology, that was kind of, I think, rhetorical, really. It's amazing when we go deep into this practice, and if it's new, what is it that we do here? This is a great introduction into that. So you have 1 more week to join us. We have about 40 people in the class right now. It's really amazing. The last thing I wanted to talk about, which is another reason I came up. So I'm going to read this announcement because I'm having a difficult time emotionally with this one. Today, with a heavy heart, I must announce that Lena Hayek is no longer part of the music team. She will be pursuing other interests and opportunities. We've appreciated her contributions to our music program, and we wish her the best going forward. She is a remarkable artist, truly remarkable. At this time, we're taking a pause. So if you have questions, you can ask me or Debbie Ann afterwards. We're going to take a pause before we go do anything further with moving a new music director in. Thankfully, our music team is here today showing us the talent that they are. Again, if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask me afterwards. Thank you.
I invite you to take a deep breath and allow this song to ground you as we get ready for meditation. Right here, right now. With every breath I take, I'm letting go, gonna let it fade away. Right here, right now. I'm getting out of my head and dropping into my heart. Right now, right here, right now. With every breath I take, I'm letting go, gonna let it fade away. Right here, right now. I'm getting out of my head, dropping into my heart, and how my mind can turn and twist and spin, just begging for some peace. That's how I know it's time to go within, be still and just breathe. Right here, right now. With every breath path I take, I'm letting go. Gonna let it fade away right here, right now. I'm getting out of my head and dropping into my heart. And with each breath, I'll go deeper in this space and ground myself from the peace within this place. I can feel the love, it's flowing all around me, right here, right now. Yeah, I can feel the love, it's flowing all around me, right here, right now.
February is Black History Month. It has received official recognition from governments in the United States and in Canada, and more recently been observed in Ireland and United Kingdom. In 1926, Charles Woodson, a scholar and the second Black man to receive his doctorate from Harvard University, established Black History Week. February was chosen primarily because the second week of February coincided with the birth of two prominent figures in Black history: President Abraham Lincoln, who issued the Emancipation Proclamation that freed slaves, and African-American abolitionist, author, and speaker Frederick Douglass. Douglass was a former slave and a prominent leader in the abolitionist movement and fought to end slavery. Woodson sought to honor these two men and the achievements of Black people in general. In 1976, President Ford officially recognized Black History Month. I love quotes, and Ralph Waldo Emerson is one of my favorite philosophers, and I will share how Emerson, his protege Henry David Thoreau, and Frederick Douglass are connected. As many of you know, Ernest Holmes, the founder of our philosophy, wrote that reading Emerson was like drinking water. To me, that means that Holmes was immersed and refreshed by the writings of Emerson, and this was reflected in Holmes' writings and beliefs. I will share how other well-known leaders were indirectly connected to Emerson through the writings of Henry David Thoreau. In his essay, Civil Disobedience, written in the early 19th century, some called Emerson the father of transcendentalism. The transcendentalist movement encompassed many beliefs, but these all fit into three main categories of values. They are individualism, idealism, and the divinity of nature. In Emerson's earlier speeches, he indicated that his major concern was directed more toward a defense of the principle of free speech rather than the moral and social issue of slavery. However, in his later writings, he wrote a poem called On Freedom, which offered insight into Emerson's relationship with Douglass. The poem first appeared as part of a collection published by an anti-slavery society to raise funds for Douglass's newspaper, who, as an ex-slave himself, was an exceedingly intelligent, moving, and motivating speaker regarding self-freedom. In many ways, he was regarded as a traditional transcendentalist in the likes of Thoreau and Emerson in his adamant beliefs in spiritual laws, self-reliance, and the oversoul, all essays of Emerson. Douglass believed in self-development. As a writer and speaker, he has such an extraordinary and inspiring story to tell. Like Emerson and Thoreau, he believed in self-education and was certain that he had a message the world must hear. He joined a lecture circuit along with Emerson and Thoreau and was an eloquent supporter of the abolition of slavery. He was a true intellectual individualist. He believed that the responsibility of a moral individual was to articulate his view of truth until it could be heard by others. He stood not just for freedom, but for intellectual and moral integrity in the pursuit of freedom. Prompted by his opposition to slavery and the Mexican War, Thoreau wrote Civil Disobedience as a kind of manual on how individuals should respond to a government that pursues policies they believe to be immoral. His idea of civil disobedience can be defined as refusing to obey a law or a regulation that is unjust in a peaceful manner. That if laws go against morality, then citizens should protest it peacefully. This explains Thoreau's idea of civil disobedience totally. Individuals spanning different regions and time periods demonstrate how Thoreau's essay inspired people around the world to resist injustice through nonviolent means, such as Tolstoy, who wrote War and Peace. Tolstoy explains in Nonviolent and Passive Resistance, in his later work, reveals the influence of Thoreau's ideas. Thoreau's ideas on resistance to injustice played a crucial role in shaping Gandhi's philosophy. Howard Thurman, an influential African-American minister and civil rights leader who started an integrated church in 1944 in San Francisco, acknowledged the impact of Thoreau's ideas on his thinking. And of course, Dr. Martin Luther King, who was heavily influenced by Howard Thurman and Thoreau's writing. In my experience of Emerson, it's not easy to read. I read him for glimmers, that is, for quotes that resonates with me and encourage me and support me in my spiritual practice. I will close with 4 of Emerson's quotes. 1, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. 2, envy is ignorance and imitation is suicide. To me, ignorance is not a bad word. It just means you are unaware or don't know. Imitation is suicide in that if you are imitating someone else, you fail to express yourself, and that's a kind of death or suicide. 3, do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. And 4, make your own Bible. Select and collect all the words and sentences that in all your readings have been to you like the blast of a trumpet. And I'll repeat those. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. 2, envy is ignorance and imitation is suicide. 3, do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. 4, make your own Bible. Select and collect all the words and sentences that in all your readings have been to you like the blast of a trumpet. And so it is.
Know there's a light that glows by the front door. Don't forget the keys under the mat. When child starts to shine, always stay humble and kind. Go to church 'cause your mama says to. Visit Grandpa every chance that you can. It won't be a waste of time. Always stay humble and kind. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, and don't lie. I know you got mountains to climb, but stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel the pride, then always stay humble and kind. Don't expect a free ride from no one. Don't hold a grudge or chip, and here's why. Bitterness keeps you from flying. Stay humble and kind. Know the difference between sleeping with someone and sleeping with someone you love. I love you ain't no pickup line, so stay humble and kind. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, and don't lie. I know you got mountains to climb, but stay humble and kind. When the dreams you dream and come to you, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel the pride, but always stay humble and kind. When it's hot, eat a root beer, popsicle, shut off the AC, roll the windows down. Let that summer sun shine, always stay humble and kind. Don't take for granted the love this life gives you. When you get where you're going, don't forget to turn around and help the next one in line. Always stay humble and kind. Yeah, help the next one in line. Always stay humble and kind. Humble and kind. Humble and kind. Humble and kind.
I love when an artist takes a musical number and makes it their own, right? They just don't sing it like the creator, but sing it like they would sing it. And I appreciate that about how you all did that today. The other thing I'll say about our music today is the sacred song that was played today, If I May, was just created by Melissa. So I think we're the first to play, and it was beautiful, right? What's that? Lena helped you finish that song. Super beautiful. Thank you for that. Just stunning. Radical responsibility. I'm surprised any of you showed up. I thought twice myself. Spirit has a way. In talking about radical responsibility, I'm not talking to you about your radical responsibility. I'm talking about my radical responsibility. So that's how it works. It's not about what others do, it's about what I do. So you can take today's message from that place, okay? A few years ago, 6 years ago, bought a house in Orange. Janine and I had moved from South Orange County into the city of Orange, and we had, it was the first house we bought together, so we had owned our own homes prior to that. And it was a mortgage company that was kind of new to me. And I was having a bit of an issue with them paying. I had, for those of you that own a home and do this, I was having taxes and insurance and the mortgage payment impounded so that the mortgage company would pay it. I don't like to mess around with that stuff. I don't want to pay it myself, and I don't want to think about it. So I just have someone else do it. Well, I prepaid the taxes, so the first year that came around, which is the year that they're collecting taxes and impounding them, I get a bill from the state of California that says I owe a bunch of taxes. And I'm like, wait a minute, no. The taxes are impounded. So I call my mortgage company. Can I have this mic moved? Thank you. I feel like I'm looking around it to see a few folks. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. So I call the mortgage company and I'm saying, so how come you guys didn't pay all my taxes? And she said, well, we collected what the state sends us. Come to find out, in the state of California, I'd forgotten, that you get a supplemental tax bill after the first year of ownership of a new place. And that's because of Prop 13 and a host of other things. And I was very sure I was right, by the way. And I was very upset with the mortgage company, and after repeated phone calls trying to resolve this, I finally kind of lost it. And then this happened. At the end of the conversation, this very patient person on the phone asked if they could verify some information. I said, of course. I still wasn't happy. And the question that got me was this: okay, Ms. Becker, what is your occupation? Crap, I'm a minister. Boy, did I get caught with my... We'll just leave it right there. So, I have this thing around when something happens and we're triggered, it's really not necessarily a test of character. It's really what's going on within us, our trauma or whatever it is that's happening. And I was responding from a place that was obviously triggered and certainly not triggered in just that moment. And very embarrassed, I realized that I owed this person a huge apology. The companies in the state of Texas, I did not feel I should apologize to Texas. So that was the one thing that I got through. Now, in contrast to that, one of my favorite figures on the planet that has lived, at least for me, and I will read anything and watch anything about this person, and that is Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was the literal backbone of the Underground Railroad at the time, right before the Civil War. And what's interesting is, I don't know that this is said enough, or in fact, I don't know that I've ever heard it till recently, and I'm so grateful I heard this. The original abolitionists were those that were enslaved. It was not the white, free people in the country. It was those that were enslaved that took the greatest risk, that started the whole process about how immoral such an institution is. And those that were enslaved and those that became free were the ones that converted whites over to the fact that the system itself was immoral. Harriet Tubman was one of those folks. She ended up running as an imprisoned person with no idea where she was going, except north. And she did it because something within her said that I am free, and this is not true. Period. That urge within us that we all have. And Harriet, once she was free, there was two things she did. One was, the first thing that she did was go back to get her husband. And when she got to where he was, he had remarried. Now, let's just say, remarried in the sense that it was not legal for people that were in slavery to marry, but he had taken a new wife, and it was heartbreaking to her. And I think in that sense, that is so devastating. But at the same time, what Harriet did was rise up, and instead of staying in that place of heartbreak, though I'm sure it lasted for a while, she went and grabbed a few other people and took them to freedom. She rose up. She stood up beyond sort of any victim or villain or even a hero in that sense. She stood up and she did something that was amazing. And she continued to do that. Even she was an amazing speaker, and one of the things, she was on this speaker circuit that was going on through the North, and she got tired, amazing speaker, told great stories because they were her experiences and they were very valid and moving. She even had the dialect, which allowed that story to have even more meaning. She got tired of that speaker circuit because she felt that nothing was happening, that the laws were not going to change just by going around and talking. So she went back into the South. Can you imagine? She went back into the South and freed as many people over and over and over again. And she said that she would lose every drop of blood to free as many people as she could. People. She was freeing people. And what was interesting, going back to that, those that were enslaved were the advocates of abolition. They also took the greatest risks. Laws were passed in the United States that said if you supported or helped any escaped slave, that you could deputize yourself and you could basically return that person. And often what happened is people that were legitimately free were returned to the South, even though they were no part of that system. And so it was a very dangerous time. And why do I bring this up with respect to radical responsibility? Because sometimes I think that there's at least for me sometimes, when I feel like I'm a victim in something, I forget that I am not a victim to anything. That the victimhood is my own consciousness, my own belief that somehow something's happened to me. And honestly, picking, the title of this week, which I picked 3 months ago, I would have shifted and maybe put it in June. Might have been easier. Maybe not. Harriet Tubman said this: "For no man should take me alive. I should fight for my liberty as long as my strength lasted, and when the time came for me to go, the Lord would let them take me." She said, God's time is always near. She knew that at any moment she could go. Any moment she could be killed. Any moment she could be returned. He set the North Star in the heavens. He gave me the strength in my limbs. He meant that I should be free. Now, if someone in that situation knows they're free, why is it we don't think we are? I find that just extraordinary, right? That we can get so caught up in the feeling that we're not free. In our movement, Science of Mind, we teach this, what I'm about to show you, we teach this in class. It can be a little complicated, but I hope that I can present it in a way that is simple. So there are 4 states of consciousness that we tend to kind of sit in. And we don't sit in those like generally one state of consciousness all the time. It depends on what it is we're dealing with. One of those states is something happens to me. Life happens to me, victim blaming, someone is at fault. The key question we ask ourselves is, why me, and whose fault is it? The next stage of consciousness is by me. I make life happen. Curiosity and appreciation do exist. The key question is, what can I learn and create? The third one is through me. I cooperate with life happening, allow flowing, wonder and awe. The key question here is, what wants to happen through me? And the last one is as me. Life is me. Peace and spaciousness. The key question is, there are no more questions. It's just knowing. Now, by me is where we accept responsibility in any situation. So when I accept some responsibility, no matter what, any situation that happens, it doesn't matter what it is, I have a responsibility. And if I don't take a responsibility for a situation, like the mortgage, the responsibility I had, of course, was don't rip the head off of the mortgage person that called. They're just an employee, and I shouldn't do it anyway. And part of that was I had to step back and look at, well, what's going on in me that I feel so angry at someone, right? The through me is a surrender. It's you kind of are in a place where you know that there's something happening and I can learn from this rather than it's happening and that I'm controlling it. Because the thing about the by me is I'm still controlling it. And the last one, which is as me, is there's a oneness in my experience. Now, there is no way that I'm in the as me generally. I am in different places all the time. Can you feel that? And that being in different places is, one, I cannot go from to me to as me in a day. No matter what I do. I can't will it. I can't force it. There has to be something that happens in my experience, whether it's learning, aha, I'm looking at beliefs, I see how I'm in there. There's feeling associated with that. Those are the general 4 states of consciousness. Now, the one I want to talk about is this one, the to me and the drama triangle. Now, where am I getting this information? Would you like to know? 15 Commitments of Conscious Living is our book of the month. This month. Next year, I'll pick an easier book. This is the first chapter of the 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership, which it should be conscious living. Because every one of us are leaders in our own right and mind. So the to me part is where the drama triangle happens. And hero, villain, and victim is where we play when we're in the to me. There is no good thing it's not good to be a hero, by the way. It's not good to be a villain, and it's not good to be the victim in this. This is what we play, and sometimes we take on more than one role here. If I'm a hero, I'll get you, I'll help you, I'll save the day. A lot of that is enabling. Or I'm uncomfortable. Let me read you some of the things we say when we're a hero, and let's see if you resonate with that. Don't worry, I'm right here with you. As a hero, I can handle it. Poor you. I can save it. I need to figure this out. This will make me feel better. You need me. I'll keep you from harm. Don't worry, look on the bright side. Do you get a sense what the hero's doing? They're uncomfortable and they're trying to move to comfort. They also, I don't want to upset anyone. So there's an avoidance of conflict. The villain, you should know better. The villain focuses on blame. They blame themselves or others or them. So these are some of the statements we make when we're a villain. I or you or they should. Anyone else guilty of this? I, you, or they shouldn't. See how we can just be so fluid with that? You're doing it wrong. You don't get it. I'm not enough. You should know better. You're not listening to me. Duh. Or I would never be like that. Yes?
That works so well in marriage, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? I imagine it works really well with families, in families too, right? We never say those things in families. The victim, I have no choice. The victim sees themselves as the effect of people, circumstances, and conditions. Often, as a victim, I feel disempowered. I feel I don't have control and I don't have power. So this is some of the stuff we say when we're a victim. I can't, it's hard, I have to, I'm confused, I don't have a choice, they don't get me, it's not fair, they did this to me. I don't know how. Now, I play those. Sometimes. All 3, sometimes 2 out of 3. And every once in a while, I'm so good I do all 3. Anyone else? Don't leave me hanging. The thing is, how do I know that I'm playing in a situation? How do I know I'm playing one of those in a situation? And here's some questions you can ask yourself. If I'm a villain, if I'm blaming someone, there's the villain part. And believe me, my wife will support that. She will tell you that I have blamed her. And she would say the same. In family, in any situation. And that's the hard part is why do I do that? I don't want to be wrong. Why don't I want to be wrong? Because that makes me wrong as a person. Right? Or correct? As a hero, these are things that will tell me that that's me. How do I solve it? What is the discomfort? If I find myself in discomfort and I want to fix something, I'm playing the hero. What we do know in this movement is there's nothing to fix. That's not the point. The point is what's coming up for me in this situation, and can I look at where I'm uncomfortable? Can I look at that? And that's how we heal. Why do we blame? Blame, shame, and guilt all come from the same source, and that's extreme fear. That's what we do. Anyone ever afraid? There's only a handful of you afraid in the room? That is so cool. All right, thanks, Lorraine. I really appreciate you. So one of the things that I love about Ernest Holmes, and how many of you are taking this thing, the class that's on Tuesday night? This is chapter 4, people. You had to read 1 through 5, I think. This is chapter 4. All right, the game is yours. Play it as you see it. I'm going to serve you, but don't fool yourself. I'm going to reflect right back to you with exactness what you really are. That could be really frightening, right? If you don't like what's happening, I'm not going to be disturbed. You are the arbiter of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. You. Everything that's happening, how I see it is the mirror. How I see it is the mirror. Not what's happening. How I see what's happening is the mirror. If I'm a victim, a villain, or a hero, what am I seeing in this situation? So, Howard Thurman said this. Howard Thurman is one of my favorite people to quote. He was a minister in the 50s that had the first desegregated church in the United States. It was amazing. The photos are amazing. And he spoke about Christianity as being a place in which people felt free, in which people felt love. And it wasn't about salvation, because if salvation is the only carrot, then unfortunately we will treat each other pretty horribly. Because it becomes about, how do I get there? So I will judge others if it's that model. So he says, there is something in every one of you that waits and listens for the sound of the genuine in yourself. It is the only true guide you will ever have. And if you cannot hear it, you will all of your lives spend your days on the ends of strings that somebody else pulls. The thing that disturbs me or disrupts me isn't a situation, circumstance, or event. It's my perspective of it. It's just that simple. So part of what we do in this community is support that change, that revealing of what's in me reacting. What's in me that sees the world in the way that I see it? One thing that Howard Thurman said and Ernest Holmes said is that the universe is a very benevolent place. If I don't think it's a benevolent place, imagine how the world feels. Imagine how I see every situation, circumstance, event if it's not benevolent. Then I will look for what's wrong. I will only see what's wrong. Hold on to that. Because the thing that stands between you and the greater good is a thing of thought and nothing else. It is not reality you must change, but your mental reaction to it. That's a big responsibility, isn't it? That takes some pretty consistent, diligent adulting, right? And that isn't easy. Simple idea, not easy. And the hard part about this way is I am responsible for my thoughts. Give some grace. What if I don't know it's my thoughts? What if I don't know what's going on? And that is the journey, because I become more and more conscious about my thoughts about a particular situation. And it is my responsibility to, our theme for the year, We Rise Together. It is my responsibility to rise to a greater idea of what's happening in my life. This is not to say that there's not pain and suffering, struggle, whatever it might be. But the extent of my suffering is where I get to look at what's going on up here. And if I think that what's going on up here is true, there's where I drown. There's the drowning. So a way through this is, let me ask you something. So I'm going to ask you some questions. And I want you to imagine for a moment the answer to this question. What if there is no way the world should or shouldn't be what it is right now? I'm going to say this because can you change the world where it is right now? You can? Like you could change it dramatically, right where it is. You can change how you see it. But the reality of where the world is if I cannot change most of what's happening, the only place I can do is change here. That's it. I can only change here. What if the world shows up the way the world is right now? Boy, that's a loop. What if the world shows up the way the world is? Can we disagree with that? Probably not. Somebody got a different argument for it. What if I could learn how to be from what the world gives us? The first two questions are asking me to accept the world the way the world is right now. Because if I won't, then I'm going to be constantly in a place of struggle and suffering. So what if I could learn how to be from what the world gives us? What if what the world is giving us right now is exactly what we need to grow? And what if curiosity and learning are really the big name? I think I meant game. What if learning and growing, curiosity and learning are really it and not being right? When you have an argument with somebody, what is it? What's the big deal? Because you can't come together. What is it? Someone has to be right. And as long as someone has to be right, we'll never get there. I know in my own life when I'm trying to be right that I am just messy. I am so messy. And inside I am so discombobulated, right, Des? Are you just, yes. And how would this change the way we see the world and live our lives? How would it? Anybody got an answer for that? How would it change the way we see and live our lives if I just accepted the way the world is today? Open up a whole new world, peace, happy, calmer. You would embrace it? I'd release my frustration. Doesn't mean we don't have a responsibility to do something. But it might allow us to, because you've heard the phrase, I cannot solve a problem from the problem. Right? So as long as I'm trying to fix it, I can't solve it. Anything I'm trying to fix is where I get caught up. That's the rub. What if the questions of life were not how can we fix this, or how can we keep this from happening, or who's to blame. By the way, this is right out of the book. Love it. Instead, what can we learn from this, since life is all about learning and growing? Now, if I ask this question in that way, I'm living at least through me. If everything that shows up in life, if I could say, what can I learn from this? Not what did I do wrong, not how can I do better necessarily, but what can I learn from it? As long as when I get tied up, how can I do better? I'm in perfectionism. That's me. What can I learn from this? Puts me in a place of deep curiosity and grace for myself and others. I'm not stuck in a paradigm of trying to be right. So I'm going to close with this. This is Ernest Holmes. Finally, through experience, you will learn the better and wiser way. That's the only way. It's practice. That's it. We don't get it the first time. Sometimes I get something the first time, but it's rare. I am love as well as law. That's what this says right here. Beauty as well as reason. Feeling as well as intellect. We have to have it all, right? You are set on the path of self-determination. Your fantastic will, seeking good for yourself that you would not willingly give to others, may lead you up many blind alleys. You may meet with disappointment and chagrin, but I have also placed within you a compass and a chart. There is a course you may pursue which leads to happiness, to wholeness, to peace of mind and joy. The point of today is, no matter what situation happens, can I accept some responsibility? Period. Not for someone else's actions, but accepting responsibility that somewhere in there, I'm playing in there too. I'm in it. That I'm in it too. That doesn't make, and here's the thing, this is probably the most powerful. What if we didn't try to make anyone wrong, including myself? Now, how powerful would that be? What could we do with that? We could do anything. So I'd love to offer a prayer from this one. For those of you in the back are going, oh, I'm not coming next week. Next week we talk about curiosity. Kind of exciting. So I just invite you to close your eyes if that is how you feel comfortable. So as we go forward this day, we have already recognized that God is all there is. God, the action of the universe. God, that beautiful, infinite urge to create itself in multiple ways, in diverse ways, infinite diverse ways. It is the love and the grace and the joy and the wisdom and so much more. That is God. Imagine. If that is God and God is everything, then I'm one with it. And so is everyone in this room. Everyone in this room imbued with that same beautiful God stuff. So as we go forward this week, the invitation is this for myself and everyone in this room. Radical responsibility to be kind over being right. To allow conflict, the drama, whatever it might be, to fall away. And to have that beautiful curiosity of another's journey and my own. So I just accept that, knowing that as I bless each person in this room through this week, accept the invitation. And as I accept that invitation for myself, what I know is that a radical shift happens. So I accept the invitation, and anyone in the room that joins me as we move through this. So with that, I just say, thank you, God, Spirit, universe. And so it is. Amen. Thank you.
There was this guy, he was down on his luck. He was truly poverty's child. Well, he had no home and he had no car. He wore a weary smile. Moved out to LA, knocked around for a while, but he was going nowhere. Then he did this movie and it did really well. Now he's a millionaire. You see, life, ooh, life is a curious thing, yeah. You see, life, ooh, life is a curious thing. I know a man, he could paint the town red, had a college degree in fun. Then the doorbell rang, a long-lost flame said, this little boy is your son. Gave him a suitcase and a bear, left him in a cloud of dust. Now he's checking out schools and driving carpools, learning to adjust. You see, life, ooh, life is a curious thing, yeah. You see, life, ooh, life is a curious thing. I know that it can be demanding, I know that it can be unkind. I don't really understand it, but Lord sure knows I'll try, yeah. You see, life, ooh, life is a curious thing, yeah. Come on, Dad. Let me tell you about a kid I knew, pudgy girl back in school. She had greasy hair and geeky glasses, object of ridicule. The other day in the checkout line, they were ringing up my rice and beans. There she was, just a pretty little face on the cover of the magazine. You know, life, ooh, life is a curious thing, yeah. I said, life, ooh, life is a curious thing, yeah. Just goes to show that you never know, yeah, what tomorrow may bring. But I tell you this, what it is seldom what it seems. You see, life, ooh, life is a curious thing, yeah. You see, life, ooh, life is a curious thing.
For that wonderful song, getting us ready for Curiosity next week. Thank you. Wow, what a day. And our ushers are coming to the center. And this is our, I'll let you know, ladies, when to let go of the baskets. Just give me a moment. And this is our time for spiritual investment in our center. We give abundantly, we receive abundantly, and we live abundantly. Go ahead and pass the baskets. If you're interested in being ushers, see myself or Diane afterwards. And how many of you knew that Rising Together was a theme for the year? It's a theme, isn't that great? So join me in this slide. We rise together as love for ourselves and our community. We rise as acts of service, generosity, and the expression of our unique talents. As committed whole, we give this gift today. Thank you. And could we have just I guess we don't need music. Wow, they're fast. Thank you, everybody. Let's give the ushers a hand. Wow, they're so efficient. Very nice. Ways to give. Push the button, Venmo, PayPal. Let's see, here it is. There we go. And now, let's have the practitioners stand up. And these practitioners are licensed and study and give you affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment, the specialty of Ernest Holmes and science of mind. And this beautiful prayer ability is here today on the side of the room. Please freely take and partake in it today. Reverend Bobbi? Great.
Okay, everyone, if I'll just invite you to stand. I want to thank Reverend Juanita for saying my favorite quote from Emerson, and that is, imitation is suicide. I remember that from Roots, and it stuck with me 20 years ago. Amazing. Imitation is suicide. Just be you. It'll kill you otherwise. So, wow. It's amazing that anybody showed up today with this weather that's just about to happen, right? It's showing up a little later. We just invite you to get home safely. That's what's really important today. And I used to work at a water district, like the largest water district in the world, actually. And water was such a big deal. It was a part of my life for 30 years. I love when it rains. Can you imagine? But it does not solve everything. It does not remove me from radical responsibility. Just saying. So let's talk a little bit about what it is that life is. Because I know something amazing is happening right now, don't you? For those of you that are new, you're going to read this, so pay attention to how everyone around you is doing it. So what is happening right now? Something wonderful is happening through me right now. Nice. See the through me? Remember that? Now it should tell you something. Happening through me. So what is this thing happening through me? It is this thing called life. Life. Boy, that's a big word with only 4 letters. Sometimes those 4 letters say a lot, don't they? So it's this thing called life. Where is life? Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is all that I am. And life is all that we are. What am I going to do with this thing called life? Hold on, this is really sad. I keep thinking that you're whispering. You don't believe this? Do you believe it? Terry, I hear Terry. So I want you to speak it. And for those of you that it's new, we're giving you a break today. You don't believe it yet. All good. Experiment with it. But try to say it out loud and see what happens. So let's start that again. Where was I? Thank you. So what am I going to do with it? Thank you.
I am it.
And
I share it with all.
these are our least favorite 2 lines right here. Right? But it's also life. So one of the things is that, can I ask myself, when life shows up, what can I learn from this? That's what those 2 lines are about. Are you ready? How am I going to do this? Just the way it appears, and
Just the way it appears now.
it's kind of what we learn. We learn to be grateful for it all, not just the stuff we like. Bummer. That's life. So I can either judge it, characterize, label it, talk about how it isn't fair, or I can look at it in a bigger way. It's not a bypass. It's a way to see something's bigger happening. And you know how I know that? Because I was an absolute disaster in my younger years. I could not have been a bigger disaster. Maybe I could have, but I did really well. And honestly, it wasn't until I realized that I actually do and can change. Based on what it is this head's doing, I need to change this. I am so grateful because every day of my life, I remember this. I'm a miracle. It's a miracle I am standing here alive. It just truly is. So find something in your life that you're grateful for. Whether it's, I'm a miracle too, my kids, my spouse, if you can find a family member, okay, that's just my experience, okay? But there's something in life that is amazing, right? And I can find it. So I'd like you on the count of 3 to reach into that place of gratitude, something to be grateful for, and say together with me that last line. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, life.
Join us for our closing song at the top. Here we go, everybody. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Back to the top, here we go. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Have a great week.